We'll start with a statement from Coach, and then we'll do questions for anybody.
It was an incredible night. I couldn't be more proud of the four guys that will eventually be sitting up here with me. I've got three of them right now, but you know where this program has gone the last 4 years in our games here at home, from when they were freshmen till today, and how it's kind of all worked out where they've come together. You know, Grant needing a 6th year, Jahan's committing somewhere else and deciding to come to Creighton. Ethan's injury that resulted in a red shirt that got him back another year, and then Doug's decision to come back for his senior year. The stars really had to align for this night to take place, and we're blessed that it did, because that was one of the more incredible things I've ever been part of. The fans were absolutely awesome from the jump. These guys were locked in on the defensive end. They shared the basketball on the offensive end like they have their entire careers, and got a win that we desperately needed. So it was a pretty special night, and for Doug to eclipse the 3,000 point mark, I'll let him speak for himself, but I know him well enough to know that there's no place on earth that he would have rather have it happen than in this building.
Questions for anyone, including Coach? Hey, Doug, were you hoping to get the 3,000 here at this building?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, I would never really, in my wildest dreams, thought I'd ever reach 3,000. So to do it in this building is really special. You know, our fans deserve it. You know, they've showed support for all of us the last 4 years, and you know, to give them something like this and a win against a good team, we couldn't go out any better way.
It looked like you were really kind of on a mission right out of the gate tonight. Man, did you think in advance about how far you were away and that's what you needed to get tonight?
You know, I really didn't. You know, I think a lot of people try and remind me, especially media and you know guys on Twitter. But you know, it's hard to block it out, to be honest. But you know, tonight was all about getting the win. You know, I just wanted us to play well, and we got off to a really good start. You know, we got to clean up some things. The defense end on the second half wasn't great, but you know, just to do it with these guys, you know, they've sacrificed a lot for me to be able to do what I do. So you know, it's just a really special moment.
To any of the other guys, did you sense that was on a mission?
He's on a mission a lot.
You'll get 3,000 if you're not on a mission every single night.
He missed like a couple layups to start. Not even like joking that I thought he missed a couple like easy ones early, and you know I couldn't foresee a night like that. But like in typical Doug fashion, like it seemed like I had no idea that he was close to 35 until he hit that three, and the crowd erupted. So that's just kind of the way he goes about his business, and you know, another special night, probably the best one.
Doug, on the one that you went over 3,000, I think you're just above the top of the key from about 25. You said you told me a couple weeks ago that you finished every shooting session at the top of the key, hitting, and you called that a Larry Bird, and it was a switch. Would you call that one?
That was definitely a bird. You know, that's something I've been doing since high school. You know, my high school coach made us hit a bird every time we left practice. So it was really cool. He was actually in the stands tonight. So to have that moment's pretty cool. You know, I work a lot. I work hard on the top of the key especially. So to have it be that shot is very fitting.
Grant, you guys won 14 conference games this year. Just talk about that. Did you expect to have that kind of in this league? Did you know what to expect?
You don't really know what to expect, but I mean, you know, we get it rolling early and are playing really well, and I think we kind of took for granted. People take for granted that you know this is our first year in the Big East, and I think a lot of people didn't think the jump in athleticism and stuff would hurt us. So to win 14 games in this league is a big time accomplishment, especially in the first year. But you know, it's hard to foresee. We've done a really good job of battling against stronger and bigger guys, and we knew that'd be a big challenge. But you know, obviously not winning the league is disappointing, but you know, to win 14 games in this league is a big deal for us, I think.
Greg, when Doug got over got to his past 3,000, you took a timeout. I think about a possession later, and you know, he comes over and you hug him. as coolest moment you've ever experienced in basketball? I mean, not as emotional one too.
Yeah, and it's somebody asked me on the way through here what was the timeout for, and thinking that maybe our team was in shambles because the crowd was going nuts and we were trying to play, and really it was probably more for me than anything. It's just it's an incredible moment, when one of your players achieves something like that, let alone when it's your son. So I just felt to have that moment recognized by our fans, to let Doug's teammates congratulate him in a timeout, to allow me to have a moment with him at that point in time, so then we could get back to the game. And I really felt the timeout was the only way to do that. But it was without question a moment in time that I'll never forget.
Jay or Ethan, the game unfolded, you guys getting up big at halftime, that happened at 22. Did that second half almost seem like a countdown to history?
But take the mic.
I guess to be honest, I didn't know that Doug even needed 35 to get 3,000. But no, I guess just the way Doug came out aggressive and hot, and when he gets himself going like that, you just got to keep hitting him in his stride and rhythm and find ways to get the ball, because it feels like it's going in every time. So when he started like that, we just kind of wrote it out.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. Anytime he's able to knock down his first couple of shots, we just kind of all look at each other and say, let's see how much he can get tonight. And I think tonight was a good example of that. We shared the ball, we made the extra pass. He did a really good job of just being patient and letting things come to him. I don't think he really rushed the shot tonight. So, when your best player is doing that, it just gives everybody else more confidence to make plays, and not only for ourselves but for each other as well.
Kind of lost in that whole thing was the defensive depth you guys did on Continental with Providence in that first half. Can we talk a little bit about that?
It was all in the first half, unfortunately. But obviously, with a player that's that good, you want to limit his touches. You want to try to make his touches tough and as far away from the basket as possible. I thought our big guys did a really good job of, being aggressive on ball screens and giving me some time to get through, either myself or Austin, whoever was guarding him at the time. And we really wanted to challenge his shots and get him out of rhythm in the first half. He kind of got it going in the first 4.5 minutes or so to start the second half, but I think our first half defense on him really kind of set the tone for what we wanted to do for the rest of the night. And even with their late comeback there, we had a big enough lead for it not to really hurt us too much.
Coming off a 2-game losing streak, how important was this win in terms of getting momentum for New York? Anybody?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, we lost a couple tough games on the road there against two really good teams, and we knew Providence is going to come in hungry too, being on the bubble like the other two were. So it's huge to get this win, especially it's a revenge game. We lost to them at their place, so that was important to us to go off on the right track. And I think we're going to be really excited for New York, and I know our fans will travel well as well.
Doug, you guys went on like a 32-9 run there to kind of build that big lead in the first half. Did that have kind of the feeling of like Butler, the efficiency you guys showed in that game at home?
Yeah, a little bit. I think we got it rolling early. A lot of guys came in when Grant got in foul trouble and stepped up. Avery made a couple big plays, and Devin, big steal, and just it's great to see those guys step in and be so efficient for us. And obviously we're a better team with Grant on the floor, but those guys did a great job of filling his role out there.
Grant, you watched that Butler game. You also watched most of that.
Yeah, what he just said, I'm starting to debate that a bit. Guys are ready to go and stepping in when people get in foul trouble. And, I think that's been a story in the second half of the season, especially in Avery and Devin. Those guys were great. And then just getting myself some rest so I'm ready to go for the second half is obviously important as well. So.
One for, I guess, Annie, or maybe all of you seniors, you guys have had a great run, obviously. But what's left? I mean, Grant alluded to it in his speech. What's left for you guys?
Either one. We don't want this run to end. Obviously, we're going to go to New York, try to play ourselves into the best seed in the NCAA tournament as possible, and then we want to get past that second weekend for sure, and then just see what's going on from there. We obviously don't want to settle for anything less, but we're ready to go.
Yeah, I think having lost in the third round the past 2 years have really, it's something I personally have thought about a lot, and I don't want to have that same kind of feeling again. So we're gonna go to New York, do our best. I said that we've won 2 conference tournaments in a row. There's no reason why we can't win a third. And from there, just keep pushing, because it's the last time that we'll get to do it together with this group. So we're gonna try and cherish every moment, but we're certainly gonna have a business-like approach to it whenever it's time to hit the floor during practice time and during game time.
Yeah, it just feels a little different this year in terms of heading into the postseason. With the games that we've won in the season we had, I think we just understand. I think we just feel like we're more prepared to make this big run, and it being our last go, and obviously everything that came together, and understanding how important, making a run in the postseason. Obviously, Big East tourney's first, but how important that is for our program and kind of to take this next step. So I think we're hungry, and obviously the first year you have that. It's the first time you're there, and everybody says that. Then you come back and we're ready to make a run this time. And as much as that really isn't true, sometimes it just feels like that. And I think with this group, we're excited, and we feel like we've put ourselves in a position like this is the final chapter for us to do something special. So that starts with New York, and we know we got a tough road ahead of us there. But hopefully one special run left for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of them. I don't think any of us are guys who like to look that far ahead, but it's something we definitely think about at the beginning of the season when we set our goals. We want to make it to the Sweet 16, if not further. And if you would have, my dad touched on it with us after the game. If you would have told us 4 years ago that we'd be headed to New York for the Big East tournament, fighting for a 2 or 3 seed. We probably would have called them crazy. So, it's great to be in this position. We have to definitely cherish it, and we're going to give it our all from here on out.
Thanks. Greg, you were in kind of a unique role today, being the walk your son out for his senior day and listen to him talk in front of, it seemed like no fans left for that senior day speech. What were some of the emotions, some of the thoughts going through your mind when that was going on?
It was probably there was more emotion maybe the last couple days leading up to it, just because there's been so many incredible memories in this building, with this team and with Doug being part of that. And Doug's had some really special moments in this building, and to think it was coming to an end was a little bit difficult for me to wrap my arms around the last few days. But like I have done and tried to do all year long, this is a bonus for me. I wasn't sure he was coming back. I didn't think Grant was coming back. And, to have these 4 together and to have Doug be able to share his senior year with 3 of his best friends in the same class, it's really been incredible. And, it's one thing, all the accolades and all the points and the way he's handled it's been incredible. But for me to be able to see every second of it is really, really cool, and something that I'll carry with me for a long time.
How important was that speech in the car when you wanted to quit?
I remember the trip because I drove him all the way to Fort Wayne, Indiana, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that where we're coming back from? That's a long drive from Ames, Iowa, by the way. And he's moving to a new town. He's playing with a new team. He's trying to find his way with a group, including Harrison Barnes, that had been together since they were in 4th or 5th grade. And he was a pup then, and he had a long ways to go. But he always had a passion for what he did. And at that point in time, because he had that passion and because he spent some time on the game, I think he was disappointed when. Hey, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe what I'm doing isn't enough. And, like he said out there, I'm glad for once in his life he listened to me. because it's all worked out pretty well. But it's been fun to see, you know, how this program has grown and how these 4 guys, and Doug certainly included in that, have grown over the four years. To watch them, you know, change as players. I just saw a picture of Ethan from my press conference when I came here. He looked like he was 12. So to think about how much they've changed as basketball players, but to watch these 4 guys grow into fine young men in front of my eyes it's really been a blessing. It's been pretty cool.
Take 3 more if there aren't any more questions.
The commercial during warm-ups, was that the first time you guys had seen
That actually got it. Well,
What was it?
it was his
Ethan
business.
Rocky, business of
What is? Oh, this is the
Better College of
corniest thing I've
Business.
ever seen in my
But
life.
they didn't show
Did you see
mine.
the sweatpants at the bottom of the?
They did it at halftime. Oh my gosh.
That was unreal. Why were you wearing sweats? Told me that's all I need to wear. I still watch it.
Questions for these guys?
It's been a great run this year, and the way you folks have told our story, you know, we appreciate everything that you guys do. This is a special place with a special group of fans, but I also think the fairness in which the media treats us in this community and respects some of these guys' time, and when we have to say no once in a while, we probably don't thank you folks often enough, so much appreciated.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you in New York.
Thanks, guys.